in the quiet riverside village of Umudara, where palm trees leaned over red earth paths and women sang as they pounded yam beneath the golden sunset, there lived a 12-year-old girl named Amara. Amara was born deaf. Some villagers said it was the will of the ancestors. Others whispered it was a curse that followed her bloodline. But Amara never believed she was cursed. She believed she was simply different. Her eyes were bright and restless, always moving, always studying. While others listened with their ears, Amara listened with her eyes. She read lips, she studied faces, she noticed what others ignored. She moved lightly through the village in her faded Ankara dress, blue thread woven carefully into her hair by her mother's loving hands. Her father had died when she was 6. Since then, it had been just her and her mother, Ngozi, who sold roasted plantains by the roadside. Life was not easy. Children mocked her. "Why are you talking with your hands like a bird?" one boy once laughed. Another would shout her name from behind just to see if she would turn. She never did. But what they did not understand was that while Amara could not hear their laughter, she could see their cruelty. Every evening, she sat beneath the old baobab tree beside Papa Eze, the village elder whose own ears had grown weak with age. Though he heard little, he understood much. He would write proverbs in the sand for her. "One who observes the river carefully," he once wrote, "will know when it plans to flood." Amara dreamed of becoming the village scribe one day, the one who records decisions, preserves truth, keeps history alive. But the Council of Elders believed leadership required a complete body. So her dream drifted like harmattan dust, visible but distant. Still, Amara watched, and soon she would see something no one else could. That year, Umudara prepared for the new Yam Festival. Drums would thunder, masquerades would dance, palm wine would flow. Chief Okoro would stand proudly before the people to announce new trade agreements. But just weeks before the celebration, bags of yams began to disappear from the storage hut. At first, the council blamed wandering boys. Then they blamed neighboring river traders. Suspicion spread like dry season fire. One evening, while helping her mother near the storage hut, Amara noticed something strange. Behind the hut stood Chief Okoro's son, Chike, and 2 council members. They were whispering. Amara could not hear their words, but she could see their lips. "Move the rest tonight. Blame the river traders. When scarcity comes, we control the price." Her breath caught in her chest. They were stealing from their own people, creating hunger so they could profit. She ran to Papa Eze and drew in the sand: men, sacks, moonlight, coins. He looked at her carefully. "Are you certain?" he asked. She nodded firmly. The next morning, she tried to warn the villagers. She mimicked carrying sacks at night. She pointed to the storage hut, then towards Chike's compound. They laughed. Chike smirked. "She imagines things," he said loudly. "Poor child. Silence sometimes confuses the mind." Her mother pulled her away gently. "My daughter, sometimes truth without proof becomes danger." That night, the final yams vanished. The village erupted in anger. The river traders were blamed, a trade dispute was declared, arguments turned into shoving, trust began to crumble. Amara felt helpless. For the first time in her life, she wished she could scream. Days later, Papa Eze visited her quietly. He placed a small wooden carving into her hand, a tortoise. He wrote slowly in the sand. "The tortoise wins not by noise, but by patience and strategy." Then he tapped his eyes. "Watch." Something inside Amara changed. She would not beg to be believed again. She would prove the truth. For weeks, she observed everything. She studied footprints pressed into red soil. She watched when Shike left his compound at night. She noticed a council member's wife cooking bitterleaf soup rich with goat meat, far too rich for a season of scarcity. She began keeping secret drawings inside her mother's old calabash. Dates, symbols, patterns. Papa Eze taught her basic writing, slow, careful letters scratched on palm leaves. Time passed. The Harmattan winds arrived. Then came drought. Food prices doubled. Fear returned to the village. Then Chief Okoro announced something shocking. A private storage reserve had been discovered and would now be sold to the villagers at a high price. Amara felt heat rise in her chest. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. She went to Papa Eze. He nodded. It was time. The entire village gathered beneath the great Iroko tree. Chief Okoro stood proudly before them. "My people, in times of hardship, leadership must act boldly." Before he could continue, Amara stepped forward. Gasps spread through the crowd. Amara unrolled her palm leaves. She pointed at Shike, then at her drawings. She carefully recreated the lip movements she had memorized months ago. Papa Eze rose beside her and spoke for the crowd. "She says the theft was not from strangers, but from within." Murmurs grew. Chike laughed nervously. "This is madness," he said. But then, a younger council member stepped forward. His voice trembled. "I cannot carry this lie any longer. It was Chike's idea, and we agreed." The crowd erupted. Chief Okoro's face did not show rage, it showed shame. Slowly, he removed his coral bead necklace, the symbol of authority, and placed it before the elders. "I have failed to see corruption in my own house." Chike was stripped of future leadership rights. The stolen reserves were redistributed. Justice did not come with violence, it came with truth. Amara stood still in the center of it all. She could not hear the cheers, but she saw something more powerful in their faces. Respect. Months later, Umudara was different. A new law was created. All major decisions must be recorded. For the first time in village history, a scribe was appointed. Her name was Amara. She sat beneath the baobab tree, palm leaves beside her, teaching children both spoken words and hand signs. Even Chief Okoro visited sometimes, quieter now, humbler. Chike eventually left the village, not destroyed, but changed. Papa Eze would later say, "The loudest ear does not always hear the truth. Sometimes it is the quiet eyes that save the village." And so the child they underestimated, the girl who could not hear, became the one who helped everyone else finally listen. Because in Umudara, they learned something that day. Disability is not inability. Silence is not ignorance. And those who observe deeply often see the truth long before the powerful do. Never mistake quietness for weakness, because sometimes the one who cannot hear your words is the one who sees your heart.